What's up, fellas? Today is Tuesday, February 17th, and today we absolutely assaulted NQ again. We are on a 7-trade win streak. 7 trades. Absolutely nuts. But anyways, today I made just about $2,500. I'll get the exact number for you in a second. It was $2,540. We made $1,100 on the 5 pathway to payout series accounts, so we made like $220 each on those, and then I made $1,500 on another eval that I was trading. We had 2 trades today. We had a 30-second short, which I took a partial on, and then there was a 3-minute short after. Overall, pretty clean price action. I'll put my P&L on screen at some point too. You can see that. I really had no problems with today. First trade was unfortunately break even, but we just got a better setup after, which I risked heavy on. So that was great. Aside from that, as you guys know, I trade the SIS system, the simplest inversion system in the entire space. If you want to learn, join the Discord. It's totally free. Link in description. Tons of resources in there, PDFs, everything. And on top of that, I live trade this model every single day, so you can trade it alongside me if you really want to get into trading. But that being said, I won't waste any more of your time, and let's get right into the recap. So I already have my bar replay set up for you all. So I'm in the 4-hour chart here, and this is what I was looking at coming into the morning. I had kind of a confusing bias. I'll put it on screen now, so feel free to pause the video and read that. But a couple of the high time frame confluences I was talking about was this 4-hour fair value gap. We had traded up and rejected out of it. We were trading lower, but if you notice, there's another 4-hour fair value gap to the downside, and we had inverse this to the downside. So this is a sign that you're going to be bearish. You're rejecting higher time frame PD rays. You're disrespecting also high time frame PD rays. So respected, disrespected. We're trading lower. Obvious draw was going to be this 4-hour low right here, which I believe was previous week lows. Yeah, that's what it looks like, was previous week lows. So getting off the 4-hour now and moving to the 1-hour chart. This was from 6 a.m., so let's get a few more candles here. And this is what we had coming on pre-market at 7 a.m. Let's see, 8. This is 8 a.m. Okay, so we swept out these lows. You can see we're kind of, once again, same scenario here. In between PD rays, we got fair value gap above. We're respecting it, rejecting out of it. Another sign that we might be bearish. But one thing that I was kind of like, what the hell is going on here is if you go to the 15-minute chart and we get up to what I was looking at right before market open at 9:15, we got a pretty like bullish 15-minute chart. We're inversing 15-minute fair value gaps to the upside. We had another inversion here, inversing this. We're in a clear uptrend. I didn't think we'd be able to dump right away. I thought off open we'd probably have to maybe trade towards this high. On the 5-minute chart, we had a pretty similar chart, and we had some session liquidic draws above. We had, let me pop on my indicator here just to make it easier. Yeah, we had London highs above, and we also had Asia highs above here. So I was thinking maybe because the 15 and 5 look so bullish, we might trade towards these draws off open and then get a manipulation lower. I kind of wanted to be able to get into a long off open, but you'll see, unfortunately, I couldn't do that. So as for high time frame draws, this is pretty much what I had. I didn't really need much else. This low was the obvious low that we had below, and I'll just let market open and show you guys how that played out. So I'll drop to the 1-minute time frame for market open, get the market open candle, and you'll see made a wick higher, started trading lower. We have this, look at this, we have another beautiful trend line here. So we have a little mini trend line to the downside. Nothing much you could really look to take off market open. I knew I'd have to wait a little bit, so if you let a few candles play out, you'll see we manipulated, swept this low, traded higher towards London highs. So around this area is when I started looking for some sort of manipulation lower. I'm like, okay, let's see if we can get a clear inverse lower. We took London highs. Let's see what we got. We had a 1-minute fair value gap. If we inverse this, I'd maybe look for a short, but letting a few more candles here play out. Obviously, this didn't happen. We just were kind of chopping around higher, edged Asia highs, and then we started dumping lower, and I was kind of like, huh, okay, let's see if we can get a short or not. I was on the 5-minute chart when I was looking for this, and you'll see this was my condition, was this 5-minute fair value gap. We had this 5-minute gap here, which was kind of going to be the condition on if we dump here or not. I mean, of course, there were some other inverses higher. Like I believe there's a 3-minute entry. If this will load, I'll let you know if there's a 3-minute entry or not. But yeah, 3-minute entry higher. I know some people took this. I mean, I take the highest time frame inverse, so I wanted to see the 5-minute break for my entry. I was hoping if like we got an inversion here, I would literally have shorted like this. Like if we actually inverse this gap, my trade would look like this, and I just sort of rode it out to these lows and possibly even lower. Super obvious draw, really clear condition, but this 5-minute gap held, and I was like, shit, okay, maybe we'll be bullish. Maybe we'll get a flip higher, and clearly we weren't. We just straight up dumped, and I was like, fuck, this really sucks. So came down, came towards these lows, and if I give us one more 5-minute gap here, you'll see we open up a new 5-minute gap to the upside, and I'm like, okay, another condition we have now. If we break this to the upside, we'll probably be bullish. If not, we can catch a reaction off of it to trade lower. So I'll drop time frames now. Obviously, this wasn't my external draw lower. We had previous week lows, which is going to be pulling price down. So I just wanted to see us trade higher, get a little bit of a rebalance, maybe trade towards EQ, and see if we can get an inversion lower. So on the 1 minute chart now, we swept out these lows. And you'll see if I let a few candles play here. Traded towards this 5 minute and eventually hit it. And I'm like, okay, what inversions do we have to trade lower? Maybe just get a scalp down to this low. Drop to the 30-second chart because we had absolutely nothing on the 1 minute, and you'll see we form a 30-second fair value gap here. So my idea was we're rejecting out of this 5 minute. Draw is still lower. We're still early on to the session, so I'm comfortable taking this even without a massive pullback. Clear 30-second fair value gap. If we can take this, I just would like to get a short position down towards these lows. I thought this was a pretty obvious trade. I'd take this pretty much anytime it presents itself. And let's see if we get a... No, we didn't get an immediate V shape. We didn't just like dump right through the gap. Reswept the high, messed around for a minute, and it just inversed after a few candles here. So you normally want to see like a pretty quick inversion. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. I still was willing to take it, though. I thought it was a pretty obvious draw. Stop would be about the body high of this candle. Take profit would just be this low just because you can get good R on this 30-second. I mean, it's almost 2R, so I'm like, okay, that's all I need. Break-even point would be this internal low right here. Clear break-even point. Stop at the high, and I thought this was going to be the only trade I needed for the day, considering this bearish trend would probably keep dumping. We had no SMTs at the high, nothing like that, so I'm just going to let this play out, and you'll see here if I just let the chart play. Talk about scary, holy shit. So horrifying. Chopped around for like 4 whole minutes, hit break even, and I ended up taking a partial off like down here to claim a winning days on the funded accounts that I have, the 5 pathway to payout series funded accounts. So I took a partial here, putting me up $220 on all 5 of those, which is where I made that $1,100. And then the rest of this position was just stopped out break even. And I was like kind of pissed off, but I took a win. So it was like, whatever, it just was a really small win. So I'm like, okay, I'm not really done because I have a few other accounts I want to trade. I think we still can get a good move. And one thing I noticed is on the 15-minute time frame, we had opened up this 15-minute fair value gap above. And I'm like, okay, we opened up this 15-minute. Our short got kind of stopped break even. And I'm just looking to see us maybe trade higher or something like that. So I know we have this 15-minute gap above, right where our stop loss kind of was. So maybe we want to trade higher, rebalance this 15-minute, and then continue the sell-off. So I'm like, okay, no, I have this gap above. Another thing I want to take note of, just because now it's kind of getting later into the session, I want to see like an actual deeper pullback. If I use my fib tool here, we have EQ higher. So we're obviously trading below equilibrium. I don't want to take another short this low in the range. I think that'd be kind of a lower probability setup. So I want to see if we can possibly rebalance EQ, or at least rebalance this 15-minute before I get a continuation short. So letting this play out now, you'll see we trade higher, trade into this 15-minute, and then perfectly wick EQ of this trading leg down. So I'm like, okay, let's see what opportunities we could possibly get for shorts here. So we have some 1 minute fair value gaps clearly. 2 minute, we have a 2 minute down here. But the highest time frame fair value gap in this leg was this 3 minute, which I just thought was a super obvious gap. I mean, just look at this thing. It's pretty beautiful, pretty large. I'm like, okay, if we inverse this 3 minute fair value gap, I want to take another short lower. Also considering if I just go to, let's see here, 15-minute time frame, we have this low inside this fair value gap over here. This was a low that I was going to target for like my external draw, so I wanted to use that low. Thought that was going to be a pretty obvious low, so had this 3 minute fair value gap formed. If we inverse this, taking the exact same trade, lower, rejecting out of a 15-minute, rebalance EQ, immediate fair value gap presents itself, and then you'll see right here, not the next candle, but I think it was the following one. Yes, we get the 3 minute inversion. So this is where I took my second entry short on the eval I had, because I already was up on my 5 pathway to payout funded accounts that I'm trading for you guys, and didn't need to trade those anymore because I took a winning day. If I traded them again, that'd be against my rules. So entered off this 3 minute inversion. We had, if I go to the 1 minute chart, I think we had like an unfilled gap I used for break even. No, we had this internal low for a break even point. So internal low for break even. This is going to be my break even point. And my first take profit, I wasn't going to let this whole thing ride just because it was a pretty big trade. I was going to use my first take profit as this internal low right here, and then leave the rest ride to that 15-minute low inside of the fair value gap. So I'll let this trade play out. We didn't have any SMTs really. Nothing going on was too crazy here. Rebalance arranged. I just wanted to see us keep going lower. And you'll see first candle, made a dump lower, immediately break even the position. So that's good. Take risk off the table. We wick, tap TP1. I'm like, great. Let's see if the rest of this is going to play out. And then I think I trailed my stop to, let me go to the 1 minute time frame. It'll show it a lot more obviously. Yeah, I trailed my stop somewhere up here. It might have been like a fair value gap that opened up. I don't know. I trailed my stop like to around this range and just got totally wicked out. I took off, I was in 15 micros. I took off 10 micros at this low here, 2/3 of my position because I was up like $1,800. So I'm like, holy shit. Trailed my stop a little bit to around here. Got totally wicked out after my first take profit got hit. And honestly, thankfully it did because I do believe we traded higher after this. Yeah, we did. So I got wicked out. It put me up about $1,440 on that eval total. So I'm ending the day up about $2,500 across all my accounts, which quite honestly, I'm okay with. I wish the first trade would have made us a little bit more, but for that, I'll take it. So that was my full trade recap for today. Thought it was pretty clean price action. Got a couple good short opportunities. The model presented itself very well. And I don't think the model actually failed today. If there was I know there's always a bunch of different entries. I don't think one of the model's entries failed. So like I said, hop on the wave, hop on the inversions, learn this simple system, join the Discord. There's no reason you shouldn't do that because I do this shit in front of you live every single day. There's no way you can fail if I'm there holding your hand every day. So get in there. It's time to level up. Very clean price action, good risk management. Tomorrow we have FOMC at 2 p.m., so maybe it'll be a no trade for me tomorrow morning just because high impact news later on in the session, then kind of slower price action, but we'll see. I won't jump to any conclusions. We'll see how it looks tomorrow morning, and maybe we'll trade, maybe we won't. So that was all I had for today. I hope you guys had a good day. I hope you had a good trading day, and if you didn't, get in the Discord because you'll start presenting a lot more of those. So join that, and I will catch you all in the next trade recap.